Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, She Says Happiness. I'm Mary Ellen, which if you are a subscriber, you'll already know. If you're new to my channel, you're so welcome. This is basically my little space where I share all things stitching related with you and sometimes some other things as well. So in today's video, I'm going to show you the progress that I've made in the last week. I do have a few of my selfless sews, which I talked about in my previous vlog. They're sitting there hidden, can't be revealed until April 30th, so this time next week you'll get to see those. But I have been sewing. I've made a couple of garments for myself. I have one in progress. I have another cut out, and you'll be really amazed. If you've been here a lot, you'll be amazed that this is finally done. I have some lovely fabrics to show you. And I also have a new sewing tool in my arsenal that I'll share with you as well. So you're very welcome back, or if it is your first time, hopefully you'll stick around and you'll subscribe to my channel. And yeah, it's really nice to have you all here. So you can see behind me there is something on the mannequin, and when there's something on the mannequin it means there has been progress. And this is a pattern I have not made since way before I got pregnant, and I've been revisiting a lot of patterns because I have obviously fluctuated in terms of my body, and some of the things in my wardrobe still do not fit, and I was kind of in two minds about what to make going forward, because yes, there's that part of me that wants to get back into everything that is in my wardrobe from before I got pregnant, but I also have to be realistic and dress for now. So I am making garments such as the one that I'm wearing, which I've talked about in one of my previous videos. This is the chocolate notch fringe dress, and because it's got lovely waist ties, I think it's something that I'll be able to wear a few months later when, hopefully, fingers crossed, I have managed to ditch a few pounds. But we're not here for diet talk. And no diet has actually started yet. Today has actually been Simon's birthday, and if you've seen the food that we've consumed, you'd know that wasn't the thing around here. So this is my Jennifer Lauren handmade juniper cardigan. I have so many of these in my wardrobe already, but I've sized up by one size, just to give myself the room to be able to close it if I so wish. As a breastfeeding mother, yeah, that there's a lot more inches here than what there were before. I think my last measurement, it was 4.5 inches increase from pre-Henry. So yeah, you can see why some things are needing to be adapted, and quite dramatically so. So yes, I've sized up. And this is actually fabric that I had left over from making my Esme dress, the Sew Over It pattern, which I would have shared with you whenever I made it. And I managed to squeeze my Jennifer Lauren cardigan out of that. So this is one of my favourite cardigan patterns. I talk a lot about the Marlowe sweater as well. I really like it. But this is one of my favourites. And it's the cropped version that seems to exist quite beautifully in my wardrobe, because I do wear a lot of fit and flare, and that cropped cardigan hits just perfectly to flatter where I need it. So the juniper cardigan, while it is geared at intermediate advanced sewists, there's no reason why anyone with a little knowledge of working with knits would struggle to make this. If you take it slowly, there's nothing there that you can't handle. The instructions in the pattern as well are absolutely foolproof. The neckline is probably the fiddliest part, but again, if the instructions don't do it for you, the Jennifer Lauren blog actually has photographs and more of a detailed talk through how to do it. So don't be afraid when you see something like intermediate advanced on it, because it doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means you have to take your time and do it slowly, and yeah, take a wee bit of extra care. It is doing buttonholes on stretch, but I've seen people use snaps instead of buttonholes. So if you're scared of doing buttonholes on stretch garments, don't worry about it. There are ways around it. And personally, I hardly ever button up my little juniper cardigans, so I could probably skip them. But I did it anyhow. I do it more for the practice, and because I actually quite like doing buttonholes, and I like hand sewing, and I like stitching my buttons on and things like that. So it also makes a project a wee bit more lasting, because otherwise I could sew through things quite quickly. So I do like to make my projects last a little longer than just sewing them through the sewing machine. But yeah, this is a beautiful pattern. I'm really fond of it. And while there are the two variations, you've got your hip length and your cropped waist cardigan, I always end up making the cropped one just because that works perfectly for me. But yeah, absolutely lovely pattern with, I believe, no real issues. And I'd recommend this to anybody who likes a fit and flare and who wants something to wear over those dresses in the wardrobe. But yeah, the hip version I think would look beautiful with a pair of jeans and things too. It's just, that's not my wardrobe, so I've never actually gone there and made it. So I've made it with the 3/4 length sleeves. There's also the long sleeves. You could of course cut the pattern to make short sleeves as well, if that's something that you desired. And it did say that I needed, yeah, 1.7 yards, and I think I had 1.3 meters and I had a little left over. So I managed to do that quite well, just being nifty with pattern placements. And by doing exactly the same thing, I was able to make another cardigan in a different colorway of that fabric. So this is the navy colorway, this is the burgundy colorway. Both of these fabrics are cotton jersey, and I purchased those from Jenny Stitches Fabrics. And this is the pearl cardigan. Now I have not had to modify the size in this at all from what I was making pre-pregnancy, so it's just the same size that I always made. And again, this was a remnant that I purchased from Jenny, and I was able to squeeze the pearl cardigan out of it too. Now I do have an entire vlog about the pearl cardigan, so I'm not going to go into lots of detail about it. You can always refer back, and I'll pop a wee link in the comments box below if I remember, note to self. But yeah, this is a lovely pattern that I've revisited now 4 or 5 times, and I'm really happy with it. And again, because what I wear is generally fit and flare, it's really nice just to throw on as an extra layer. Now that we don't really need the heavy coats and things anymore, I'm back into making cardigans again, which I prefer to wear rather than jackets. Anyhow, it's just, I find jackets to be quite restrictive. I don't like to feel claustrophobic when I wear my clothes, so cardigans, plus I'm a librarian. What can I say? Yeah, so those are 2 jersey garments that I've made, and that's another thing I'd say about the pearl cardigan, is that the fabric requirements are a little higher than what I have in my own personal experience discovered to be necessary, so do just be mindful of that. And it is sometimes, whenever you're buying your fabric, it's sometimes worth just laying the pattern pieces out to check how much you need for your size. I guess what happens is they say this is the fabric requirements for a block of sizes rather than each individual, so it's always worth checking out how much you personally will need for the size that you have cut. What else have I made? So this is not yet finished, but it will be finished soon. So I have made myself another Colette Moneta dress. Now I was in 2 minds as to whether to make that that pattern with this fabric. So this was the fabric in the last Sew Hayley Jane subscription box. This was the classic box. It came in a white variant as well, which was beautiful, but I'm actually glad I got the baby blue, even though I think I prefer the white. I personally try not to wear white because I know the time that I do, I will spill coffee. From experience, that is what happens with me. So this is all sewn up. I just need to hem the skirt, I need to hem the sleeves, and I need to sew in the neckline as well. So it's really just finishing that needs done on that one. And the other thing then that is on the sewing table, you'll be amazed if you've been here for a while, you'll be amazed, but look, I have finally cut my Sew Over It Dorothy jacket. I have been intending to do this since November, so wow, that's no mean feat. And actually I'm hoping to do a little bit on this just in the evenings when Simon gets home, maybe a half hour every evening this week, make a little bit of progress. because I definitely need a rainproof jacket. And this fabric here is waterproof, and you can see in the inside hopefully as well, it's actually fleece backed. So this is a fabric Minerva has sent me as part of the Minerva brand ambassador team. So yes, I want to get on with that and make a bit of progress on that this week. It's all marked, all the placements are marked, darts are marked, even the stud fastener positions are marked. It really is just a case of sewing and finishing and getting on with it. So really chuffed at myself with that. I've been working away on a couple of cross stitch projects this week too, but I don't have those handy, so I won't go into those. And I'm not sure how many of you actually do cross stitch. If there are more of you, pop me a comment below just so I know if it's something you do or if it's something you're interested in trying out. It's one of those hobbies that anybody can pick up, and I find it personally to be a really relaxing thing. I love it. It's one of those things I do when I'm watching something on Netflix or a movie or something like that. But yeah, there's a wee group of kitty patterns and things that I've grown up in the corner there. Grown up, sewn up. Please don't grow up. Maybe that's what I'm thinking, he's going to grow out of them before he even gets to wear them. So I'll share those with you next week, because as I explained, it is part of the Selfless Sews challenge. So those are there to share it with you. I've also been knitting a little bit this week. So I think I mentioned this before, I've been knitting up this little pattern here, and while it was knitted about 4 weeks ago, I haven't knitted in such a long time, and if I have, it's little things that don't require too many technical challenges. I kind of in my head thought I totally forget how to pick up stitches. Turns out I haven't. It's just me telling myself that, because that whole baby brain thing is a real thing. Trust me, it's a real thing. And I'm struggling with it. But I finally got this little sweater finished. Isn't it so cute? So cute. So that's ready. And I like it because it's got the little fold over here with the little button band just to make it easier to slip on over the head. I just need to do the even more hateful thing. I mean, a lot of people hate the sewing up, and yes, I've been that person, but I hate weaving in the ends more than anything else. So that's been there for the last couple of days, and I must take that down with me this evening if I'm watching a movie or whatever, just to stitch it up and get it finished. So yeah, all my wee things are in, get it blocked, then it'll be ready for him to wear before he grows out of it, because yeah, we're not getting even 2 months out of age ranges at the moment. Unfortunately, you spend so much time creating this gorgeous little tiny wardrobe, and then you have to start all over again. But yes, that is my next to do thing. So let me share with you some of the nice new fabrics that have arrived. And on the top of the pile, there is a very secret pattern. So I have received my next bunch of materials from Jenny over at Jenny Stitches for the Jenny Stitches blog. And I don't like sharing too much about what I'm doing until I've done it, because I like there to be some kind of reveal. But the pattern that I've chosen, sneak, you might get a hint there. You may have seen something. Is something I've been meaning to try for an awful long time. It kind of has cult status when it comes to curvy sewing. So I'm finally going to get stuck in, twirl that up at some point over the next week. And the fabric that I have here is a very classic vintage inspired look. It's a black and white polka dot fabric. So this is a cotton sateen, and it is an absolutely beautiful feeling fabric. I don't know if it has a little bit of stretch in it or not, because time has been, there's a little bit of stretch for comfort, which is nice. Yeah, time has not been my friend. I'm amazed that I've actually managed to do anything at all. So yes, this will make a classic looking vintage inspired garment. And I also have some black cotton lawn for lining it as well. And I'm a big fan of Jenny's lawn collection. She has a beautiful collection of lawns, both plain and patterned. There's a couple there in my stash, which I think this is the summer they're going to get sewn up. I have a lot of things in my stash that are finally going to get sewn up because I have slowed down on the buying. You know, maternity leave equals maternity pay. So all of those luxuries, like all the fabrics and stuff I've been purchasing is not something I will have the ability to do over the next few months because I am extending my maternity leave. I'm hoping to, yeah, take basically the year rather than 6 months. So that'll be nice. Lots of sewing time, just not as much fabric, but you can't see it all. I do have a decent stash of fabrics. There's boxes over there as well, and there's a few more cubes heading in that direction and down and down. There's no shortage, so I will be fine, and there'll be lots of things to share with you, and I'll maybe share some of my stash with you as I go as well. Yeah, so that is my blogger project. So that I'm going to get into the wash. Did I just flash my pattern? Into the wash and ready to sew up hopefully next weekend. Now, the other thing I got here is another viscose fabric from Jenny, and this is my colour. I absolutely love this colour. I believe Jenny is sewing this up for herself at the moment as well, and she has the same idea that I had, which is to sew up the Tilly and the Buttons Mabel dress. Now, I don't make a lot of Tilly and the Buttons patterns. The pearl cardigan has been a major exception to that rule. I have kind of got a soft spot though for the Mabel, and while the peasant style blouse pattern that I go to automatically is the Charm Patterns Rita blouse, which I've made into a dress on many occasions, I thought I'd give it a go because I want to try the shearing. I have never really made a sheared garment. It's not really something I've ever gone for. I prefer to fit something, you know, more exactly rather than depend on elastic to give it the shape and the fit. But we're going to give it a go because I love peasant style blouses and dresses, and this was one of the fabrics that I had in mind for that, but you never know what this might become. I change my mind a lot. So that's there. Then I have a couple of fabrics from First for Fabrics. Now this one is not for me, this one is for a friend. It's just a beautiful I think there must be a washed linen. It has a gorgeous feel to it, a little bit of texture, and it's very, very soft, but it almost has like a linen type texture, which is odd. And this is to make an Elodie dress for a friend to wear to a wedding. And the other fabric that I got from First for Fabrics is for me. Now I think I made a mistake, and I think I ordered 2 meters of this and I meant to order like 2.5, but this is a Stof fabric and I just absolutely loved that colour and flower combo, and that's to make myself some kind of dress. We'll see what that becomes. And then the last fabric that's arrived is from Sew Me Sunshine. It's not even the last fabric. There's another one that came yesterday. So yeah, this is from Sew Me Sunshine, and this is just a basic fuchsia cotton foil. The reason I have this is because I previously purchased this fabric, which is a viscose crepe, I believe. Now, I love it, but I don't know if you can see, it's a little sheer. So I wanted a fabric that I could use as lining, and there were a couple of options on the website, and I just checked with the girls which one worked best, because obviously I had this one in my possession. I didn't have the ability to see the others and to just match them up, but they could. So you can see that will work quite nicely as a lining fabric for this one. I just loved this print. I thought it was really fun. So looking forward to that. And yes, so one more did come. I'd forgotten. And this is from Rainbow Fabrics. And when the guys were out doing their last fabric shop, this was one they were going to overlook, but a lot of people, including me, was like, no, you have to buy it, you have to buy it. And it's a viscose, and it has this most remarkable cowboy boot print on it, which just reminds me of like stampede season in Calgary, and I thought this was lovely. And yeah, that's just there. I don't know when I'll get around to sewing with it, or, you know, I don't even have any plans for it. I just absolutely loved it. So when it went online, I snapped up a few meters, and they've also started packing things in these little bags, which is really handy. I've been using these to keep like current works in progress and things once the fabric's been used. Really, really handy. So that's that. And then the other thing I want to show you is the exciting new thing for my sewing room. But I'm just gonna have to go and lift it and bring it back to show you. So, massive box. The latest machine in my collection is the Janome Cover Pro 2000 CPX, which I have not even unboxed, so you can kind of see a picture of it there. I've been kind of thinking about getting a cover stitch for a while now, and it really is only worth it, I suppose, if you do a lot of sewing with knit fabrics, which I do. If it's not jersey dresses and cardigans for myself, it's sweaters and t-shirts for Simon, and now little projects for Henry as well. And the benefit really is twofold of a cover stitch machine. You'll get a more professional finish, and I can't be bothered with twin needles, to be honest. They just annoy me. That will rule out the need to set that up. But it also will make hems and things last that little bit longer. There's less chance of breaking stitches if you've used a cover stitch machine. So there's that sustainable side to it as well, and the longevity of your garments. But as you can tell, I haven't even got it out of the box yet. I got this last weekend for my birthday, and I haven't even committed to opening it. The thing is, I don't want to open it and just set it there and let it gather dust for a week or two. I want to open it and have the time to play with it and get to know it and familiarize myself with this machine, because I am sure, like anything, it's going to take a little bit of getting used to. Now, I do believe that this is much easier to operate than an overlocker, particularly in terms of threading up, and I don't even mind threading up my overlocker. I've got that down now. It only takes about a minute. But yeah, this will be interesting. It's been on my wish list for a while, so the only thing now I'm waiting for is an embroidery machine. And as Henry gets a little bit older, I think that's something I'll get a lot of use out of as well. But I will come back and do a vlog about setting this up and showing you what it's doing, give you an honest review of what I think of this product. I need to do the same for my sewing machine as well, which I've been meaning to do now for a while, just to give you my honest opinions. Things I find good about it, things I find bad, things I need to learn. Yeah, so I'll share that with you hopefully within the next week, because I would like to get it out of the box and give it a whirl. But yeah, that's what I've been up to this week. That is where I am. That's where I'm going forward. Looking at this, doing my Dorothy jacket, getting my Jenny Stitches blog started, twirled, and twirling up the Elodie dress for a friend whose measurements I now have at hand. And I will update you with those. I'll be back at least next Sunday to share with you my selfless sews for the Instagram challenge that has been running throughout the month of April. I have a few things there to share with you as well. But there we have it. That's basically where I am this week. So I'm going to go and enjoy what's left of Simon's birthday. And hopefully you've all had a fantastic weekend, wherever you are, whether you've been sewing or not. And yeah, I'll be back to see you all soon. So take care. Bye.